Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretaries, thank you very much for being articulate and logical voices about the power of deterrence, about the importance of American leadership, and about the very real risk posed by this authoritarian alignment between China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, and others. We've talked a lot about that authoritarian alignment of external actors. I'm curious, to what extent does that alignment extend to within our own borders? To what extent has the Chinese Communist Party identified and invested in partners that seek to undermine our country from within? And Mr. Pompeo, or rather Secretary Pompeo, we can, or yeah, go ahead, Mr. Panetta.
That was one of the great concerns we saw when I was director of the CIA. It was obvious that China had an extensive intelligence network at play, and that through their technology, they were deliberately planning methods of gathering intelligence, whether it was Huawei, or other sales, that they were using that for intelligence. They are very aggressive within the United States now on disinformation. We know that Putin waged a disinformation campaign as well. China's doing exactly the same thing, using artificial intelligence very effectively to spread disinformation and misinformation in this country. So that, I think, remains a significant concern, that at a time when, you know, they talk about dialogue and the time when they talk about trying to improve relations, we cannot underestimate their efforts to basically undermine our democracy.
I give just two quick thoughts, but I agree with Secretary Panetta that we should never forget this information space in social media and how the Chinese Communist Party has communist-directed entities that are on every one of our children's cell phones, passing information that is deeply filtered, designed for our young people here to undermine their idea and their understanding of America and our foundational ideas. We have to take serious action there. Second thought, you know, it seems like a long time ago, but don't forget, this is the very Xi Jinping that unleashed a virus upon the world, that killed millions of people, including over 1 million people in the United States. It gets seldom referenced. It's hard to imagine the staggering impact that COVID had on the world, and yet no one's held Xi Jinping accountable, not for the leak from his lab, which happened, but for the fact that once he was aware that he had a leak from his lab of a relatively lethal, relatively contagious virus, he foisted upon the world. He made a decision to hide the data, to hide the information, to off the researchers, and to put thousands of people on airplanes and transit them across the world with the death and destruction and the economic harm that followed from that. This is the very same Xi Jinping that is working here in the United States against us.
It's pretty well in the record of this committee that the algorithms of TikTok in America are designed to deliver trash to American youth. The algorithms in China deliver a more virtuous content. Because of that and other reasons, I have a tendency to describe TikTok as nothing more than CCP malware. Is that hyperbolic, or is that accurate?
No, I happen to think it's accurate.
It has to be fixed, and it's not. I would only add, it's not just TikTok. It's deeper. It's broader. It's more pervasive in the way that Secretary Panetta described it. And so this effort at information warfare is something, it's hard for democracies to defend because we have wide open societies. And I get that, and I'm happy about that. But we have to do it, and we have the tools to do it as well.
Well, go ahead, Secretary Panetta.
By the way, I think it also raises the importance of our ability to have good intelligence on China. We need good intelligence on our adversaries. We get intelligence even on our allies. But intelligence is critical to our ability to make the right decisions. And I have to tell you, China is a very tough target. And it's not easy to be able to penetrate and get the kind of intelligence that we absolutely need if we're going to deal with China.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. I fear that much of America is still sleepwalking through the very real threat that every single day China, Russia, and others have thousands of people and millions of dollars at work in undermining our country in the ways you described. Thank you for calling attention to that threat. With that, I yield.
Ms. Brown.